You ever feel like life's got you by the throat? Like it just won't stop squeezing no matter how loud you scream? That's how I've felt the past couple of years, ever since I lost my job. One day I was working steady hours at a shipping yard near Baton Rouge. The next I was on the street with a cardboard box of my things and a handshake that meant nothing. After that, it was just bills stacking up like bricks. Rent, groceries, gas. It all started drowning me, slow and painful. I live alone in a small run-down trailer off a quiet stretch in Louisiana. No family nearby. No one to really count on. I tried my best to stay afloat, selling tools, skipping meals, borrowing a little too often, but I was running out of things to sell and people to ask. That's when I started taking whatever work came my way, mostly construction gigs, nothing steady. You show up, sweat your soul out, and maybe get paid if the boss ain't drunk that day. One day, I got a call from Carl, a foreman I'd worked with a few times before. Said he had a 5-day job putting up fences on a big property just outside New Orleans. Used to be a whole neighborhood there, he told me, until Hurricane Katrina wiped the place clean. All that was left now was empty lots, scattered foundation slabs, and weeds tall as my chest. Carl hired me, Rico, and Daryl, 2 good guys I'd worked with before. The job was simple. Dig holes, drop in posts, move on. The first 2 days were long but manageable. Third morning, I showed up at 7 a.m. Sharp, coffee in hand, but Rico and Daryl were nowhere in sight. 20 minutes later, Carl called. Boys were in a small wreck, he said. Banged up but fine. You think you can handle digging the holes today? Alone? Just 2 feet deep. I said sure. Sounded easy enough. I had my shovel and my silence. It was a cloudy morning and rained last night. The land felt heavy, like it was holding its breath. Not a bird, not a car. Just me, a vast open space, and some wind whispering through weeds. At around 11 a.m., I hit something. Clink. Not a rock. Something hollow. Metal. I knelt down and cleared the dirt, uncovering a rusted old metal box, wrapped in cloth that was half rotted away. Smelled like mildew and grave soil. My hands were shaking. My heart kicked into overdrive. Was it treasure? God, I hoped it was. A miracle. An answer to everything I'd been praying for. I pried the box open. Inside were 3 gold coins, worn but real, and a strange black amulet, no bigger than a matchbox. It was cold to the touch, wrapped in thin copper wire, etched with markings I didn't understand. My breath caught in my throat. A breeze swept through, cold and sudden. The bushes next to me twitched, but I was too excited to care. I pocketed the amulet, wrapped the coins in my rag, and stuffed them in my backpack. Then I got back to digging, barely feeling the shovel in my hands. All I could think about was what that gold might be worth. By 5 p.m., I was covered in sweat, dirt, and hope. I threw my tools in the truck and headed to a pawn shop I knew in town. The road felt longer than usual, and quiet. Too quiet. That's when I started hearing the whispers. Faint. Murmuring. Like a radio with the volume turned low. Voices speaking in a language I couldn't understand. I looked around. No cars, no people. I rolled the windows up. The whispers stayed. I pulled into the pawn shop, nerves tingling. Inside, the old man behind the counter examined the coins for a long while. Then he called over his buddy. They offered me $3,950 on the spot. I nearly cried. That much money at once felt like salvation. I took the cash and headed straight to the only bar I could afford back when I was broke. That night, I let myself order a real drink, but halfway through it, I felt it. Something touched my hair. Gentle, long fingers, like a woman's hand brushing my scalp. I turned fast. No one behind me. My neck went stiff, and I realized something. I hadn't stopped thinking about the amulet. I could feel it, even from inside my backpack, like it was calling to me, like it wanted to be held. I finished my drink and left. Driving home, I saw her. Not fully, just at the edge of my vision, in the passenger seat. A pale, thin woman, her eyes dark, her mouth twisted in a knowing smile. But when I turned my head fully, nothing was there. My arms went numb. My chest tightened. I felt like I weighed 300 pounds, like something had latched onto me. I got home and dragged myself out of the truck. Each step to my porch felt like walking through molasses. As I reached for the door handle, I glanced at the window pane beside me. My breath caught, clinging to me, piggyback style. Her arms wrapped around my shoulders, her fingers long, sharp, curling into my chest. Her face, God, her face, was twisted, pale, eyes black and bottomless. She was smiling. I screamed, fell right off the porch, rolled onto the dirt. I could not believe it. When I looked again, she was still there, holding on me like I was her throne. I crawled to my truck, terrified, my heart galloping like a racehorse. There was only one place I could think to go: the church. I drove like a man possessed to the small parish near my old neighborhood. Father Matthew, an old friend of my mother's, came out when he saw me. "I need help," I said, shaking. "I found something." And something found me. He listened, patiently, while we were walking into the church. I showed him the amulet. The moment he took it into his hand, he let out a scream and dropped to his knees. His face twisted in agony, like something invisible was crushing his skull. He hurled the amulet across the stairs. Instantly, the pain stopped. He gasped and stared at me, pale. This thing isn't just cursed, it's anchored. If it can hurt me here, in God's house, then it's no small evil. I don't think I am suitable for this. I don't want to do this, but go see Mama Estelle, a voodoo priestess. She knows better about this kind of things. I'll call her ahead. She'll be waiting. He gave the address. I had no choice. The drive to her place felt like I had a boulder tied to my back. My shoulders ached, and my vision blurred. I pulled into her gravel driveway, just as she stepped outside. "Don't get out," she said sharply. Her eyes weren't on me. They were on the truck. "She's still in there. I can see her. She's watching me." I tried to open the door. She shouted, "No, stay where you are." "This spirit," she said, "is ancient, rotten. Even the ancestors feared her. They didn't bind her in a temple. They buried her in dirt, where no one would find her." I only heard of this evil being mentioned before by elders, never encountered one. "What does she want?" I asked. "She wants a master," she whispered. "She'll give you things. Money, power, lust. All you have to do is openly say you accept her. But she will take everything in times to come. Your body, your blood, your family. And when you are broken, she will wear your skin like a dress." My throat went dry. How do I stop her? "Return the amulet and coins to the hole where you found them. She's bound to that land by curse and blood." "I sold the coins," I muttered. She narrowed her eyes. "Then you must make a new offering." The air turned cold. A shadow passed between us. Mama Odell stepped back. "She can't enter my house grounds. It's protected, but she's trying. She really wants to hurt me, and she knows what I do." By then, the shadow seems going around her house. I begged her to help me. She looked at me like I was already gone. "You can't kill her, but you can bind her, make her wait." She handed me a small bag of dried corn seeds. "Go back. Return her to the earth. Dig the same hole. Place the amulet inside. Scatter the seeds into the hole and spill your blood around it. Offer your essence. Say, 'I accept you. Feast on my blood. Come find me when the corn germinates.'" "Wait," I said. "You want me to tell her to come back?" "She will never let go, Tom. Not unless she believes you belong to her. Say the words. Come back here tomorrow morning." I started to protest. "Trust me," she said, stepping few steps backward. The evil was back. Screaming outside the house like a banshee. She seems angry. I drove back. She rode with me. I could feel her clawed fingers brushing my ear. Dogs howled and scattered when I arrived at the land. They weren't afraid of me. They were afraid of her. But once I got there, my terror turned to confusion. 1. It's pitch dark. I only had a small torchlight. And there were dozens of holes, all the same size, all half-filled. I searched and stumbled through the brush in the dark. Mosquitoes were flying and buzzing my ears. Finally, there. The soft ground where I first struck metal. There, it showed its true self. A tall woman, face filled with evilness, huge eyes, oddly long fingers and hair almost like dreadlock. I almost pissed in my pants. I knelt, dropped the amulet in, scattered the corn seeds in the hole, and cut my palm with a small penknife. Then I made the offering while saying, "I accept you. Feast on my blood. Come find me when the corn germinates." Suddenly, the wind stopped. The trees groaned. She looked at me, and I could hear a little whisper, "I accept you, Master." She stared at me with ravenous hunger, then slipped into the hole, vanishing like smoke. It was unbelievable. I was in disbelief. I ran, lighter than I'd felt in days. I reached home and I washed. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't stop thinking. What if the corn grows? What will happen in next few days to me? It felt like an eternity, waiting for the sun to rise. Then, morning came. I drove back to Mama Estelle's house, but as I approached, my limbs stiffened again, like I was heavy. I couldn't step across her porch. She came out to me. "You can't come in, Tom. The house is protected." "What happened? Is she still here?" I asked. She smiled sadly. "You are free and not free at the same time." "What? What you mean?" She held up the seed pouch. "I gave you boiled, dried corn. They will never germinate. It's an old voodoo trick. She'll wait forever. But you are cursed to be with her. It is like married. Your partner left you, but you never filed for divorce." I stared at her, speechless. Tears welled up in my eyes. "You tricked her." "No, you did," she said. "You survived her, Tom." I never went back. Not to that field. Not to that job. That money? I used it to move, far away. Got new work, too. Honest work. And I don't keep trinkets anymore.